Hello, pharmacy badasses. I have a great episode for you today on one of my favorite topics of the world. Yes, I'm a nerd. It's pharmacogenetic testing and pharmacogenetics in the pharmacy, PGx as it is called. I have a wonderful new friend of mine, Dr. Jamie Wilkey is our guest today, and she is expert, so there's no other word, in not only PGx, but really in helping pharmacists monetize this service. Of course, here at DiversifyRx, we are all about diversifying revenue and growing profits, and I believe PGx is one of those wonderful pillars that kind of fit under cash-based revenue and non-PBM revenue. So, Dr. Jamie, welcome. For anybody that may not follow you or know you or be obsessed with you like I am, please give everybody a little introduction on who you are and what you got going on for PGx.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on here, Lisa. I love what you do, and it's great to be able to provide pharmacists with one more way to bring a service to the community that's valuable, because I see the value of PGx. And for those who don't know what PGx is, it's really a simple genetic test that can determine if medications work for you, and if they don't, what you're most likely to cause side effects. And so it's really bringing personalized medicine to our patients in our community. Gone are the days, I hope, of guessing on our prescribing and saying, try this and come back in 6 months if it's not working. With a genetic test led by a pharmacist who can take all those factors into account and help you get the right medication from the beginning, it's really an amazing, exciting place to be as a pharmacist. And I think it really gets us from product-based roles into knowledge-based roles that our patients are craving.
Yes, and I know for PGx testing, the thing that excites me the most about it is this is our realm. Like, pharmacists are the drug experts, and this is it might be DNA, but it is a drug DNA. Like, just like we're the experts of what foods are bad, what should you not take grapefruit with? I think most of us pharmacists can recite those drugs in our sleep. PGx is the same. Like, it's an area that I think we should own. And I've been talking about it because obviously I like to monetize these awesome kinds of things. But really just as from a clinical perspective, I think it should be standard of care. I think you're opening yourself up to malpractice when you know a drug that's affected by DNA and nobody is suggesting to check for it. What I think a lot of pharmacists, even pharmacists forget, and obviously a lot of lay people don't know, and even doctors don't know, is that so many prescriptions are prodrugs, which means it has to be activated in the body. Like, the pill form that you swallow isn't going to do anything until it's activated in your body. So talk a little bit about how DNA really does affect the drugs. Like, what is it in the DNA that causes these problems?
Yeah, absolutely. So especially for different ethnic minorities and ethnic backgrounds, our bodies process medication completely differently using pharmacogenetics and pharmacodynamics, just what we learned in pharmacy school. This is really just everything we learned in pharmacy school. You know more about it than you think you do, just understanding how your body metabolizes those CYP enzymes. So you can understand if you're going through those prodrugs way too quickly and getting a toxic amount in your body, or not processing them slow enough and having terrible side effects because you cannot excrete it from your body. And so, like you said, pharmacists are the perfect profession for this. And it's so exciting to teach them to champion it, because really all other professions know the value of it. They're just too scared to touch it because it is complex and it requires a pharmacist's touch.
I couldn't agree more. And I often talk to pharmacists, and you probably hear this a lot too, where they're scared that they have to be like a geneticist. They have to somehow go back to school and get a genetics degree or something to do this. And I really, my best analogy story is it's very much like drug interactions. We've learned about drug interactions in school. Did you memorize them all? Absolutely not. There's been thousands more drugs approved since I went to pharmacy school. I'm a lot older than you. And do I memorize them all? Absolutely not. We rely on software and technology to help ping us, hey, warning, this patient is on these medications. And that really is essentially what happens with pharmacogenetics, is you need to learn the basics, you need to learn the foundation, but you're relying on technology. So is that something that you hear a lot, or what are the other fears that a lot of pharmacists have when they're maybe considering getting into PGx?
Yes, they're scared they don't know enough, and the required knowledge is something like a master's degree or something that's a huge outlay of time and energy, when really my past in my profession was I was a retail pharmacist for more than 10 years. I didn't know a thing about it. It's really quite easy to get your knowledge up to speed, and then you can run with it. So don't let the knowledge barrier be what's actually stopping you, because if you're a pharmacist, you know more than 99% of anyone out there, and it's really not that hard to get the hang of it.
Yeah. And you work a lot with kind of those solopreneurs, those pharmacists that are looking to kind of create a business for themselves. Whereas I work with pharmacy owners that run a brick and mortar pharmacy, probably have staff, definitely technicians and clerks, probably have some staff pharmacists as well. And so I think PGx is a really good fit for both worlds. You're helping people leave their, whether it's chains or hospitals or administrative roles, and going basically into business for themselves, where the thing that I always talk about pharmacy owners is you are sitting on a gold mine. The problem that I know a lot of your people have is, where do I find patients? Boy, I got to be really good at marketing and I got to get the word out. Whereas pharmacy owners, you have people walking into your store every day. You're filling hundreds of prescriptions every day. And gosh, the number of prescriptions now that have drug DNA issues is in the multiple hundreds, might even be over thousands. I mean, it's like every time I look, the number just ticks up. And so really, I think this is why it's such a good opportunity for pharmacy owners to be thinking about expanding their revenue into, is you have the patients ready to go. You have the relationships with the doctors. And so I think you provide a really great structure, whether you're a solopreneur pharmacist or if you're a pharmacy owner or you want one of your staff pharmacists to get into this, to create a structure that provides a way to monetize this. So tell us a little bit about, you have your academy, as you call it. So tell us a little bit about that academy and kind of that journey of what you take a pharmacist through.
Yeah, absolutely. So I founded the PGx Consulting Confidence Academy, where I really teach pharmacists how to bring PGx to their community, whether as a community pharmacy owner or as a pharmacist who is fed up with their career and they want to build a future that's in their own hands. And so rather than focusing on the science of how PGx works, we're focusing on like bootstrap building this in your community and using specific business strategy that makes sure you're profitable and building something that can grow. Because ultimately, if you're going to go to all of this energy, you need to be benefiting your patients and to benefit your bottom line. And pharmacists just don't know how to earn money well for themselves. And so it's really rewarding to teach them how to monetize and strategically bring this into practice so that it really creates a lot of momentum and great recurring revenue.
Yes, that's the thing that I love, is the recurring revenue, the opportunities to form deeper, really, really deep relationships with prescribers and patients. Because, I mean, the potential side effects from drug DNA interactions is heart-wrenching. I mean, I hate reading these stories where, I mean, there's been deaths of women, of men, of children, of babies. There's been people that have been, irreparably harmed from things. And all of these are preventable. And I seriously get goosebumps, even just talking about it and thinking about it. It's one of the reasons why I'm just passionate about it. I love talking about it because it is an opportunity. You have people in your community, no matter how small, no matter how poor, no matter how rich, no matter how big, you have people in your community that need this. Like, this is a need. You don't have to go out there and try to, scrounge up something. And so that's why it's such a big business opportunity. So when a pharmacist is considering this, what are the monetization opportunities? Like, how much can they earn? I know you deal, like I said, a lot with people that are making this their full-time business, but what does that range look like for maybe somebody who works in a pharmacy or even that solopreneur that wants to do it full-time? Like, how much can they really earn from PGx?
Oh, that's a great question. And it ultimately depends on how much you want to go into it. It's a great side hustle to, in off hours of your day, if you're working for someone else, to be able to help patients on nights and weekends and to earn revenue that way. But if you really have a base that you can tap into and grow, you can easily replace your own salary as a pharmacist doing personalized medicine. And it's really rewarding to see that it is very profitable, very rewarding. Your patients will love you for actually shining a light into what's going on instead of just medicating them. And it's amazing to see the word of mouth referrals flow in.
Yes, and there's many different models for PGx testing. I did a recent continuing education credit for a compounding organization, kind of going through all of the different models. There's labs that bill, labs can't do interpretations now. That's a great role for pharmacists to come into. There's the cash pay model, and people always say, oh, I don't know if my patients will pay. They will pay. If they're on chronic medication and they feel terrible, they will pay. Why do we think, 23andMe and all these other nutrigenomic and other types of companies that are based on DNA, they're doing millions of dollars, and it's not because people don't want to pay. People will pay. And you're that local expert that then every time they get a prescription, guess what? They're going to come and ask you first, is this okay with my DNA? So your academy, how long is that process? Like, what is it going to take if I say, oh my gosh, Jamie, Lisa, this sounds amazing. Let me start. What does that journey look like through your academy? How long until I'm ready to go?
So it's totally as ambitious as you are. You have access to everything I teach for an entire year, and it's completely self-paced and online. So you can binge everything I teach you and can be up and running and start earning profit in, I've seen it as early as 4 to 6 weeks to get your first paying customer. It really depends on you and how fast you're willing to go out there and take action. You have access for a year. So even we have moms who are working full time and they just have 1 hour of nap time that they can dedicate to this. So 1 hour a day, instead of scrolling Facebook or watching a show, they're building a business. So it's completely up to you. You have a whole year of the online program. And then we also have real Zoom meetings where we're interacting every week as a group, boots on the ground, actually doing it. What barriers are you facing? Let's work through this. So you're not alone. You have a community of support of hundreds of pharmacists across the country, just like you, without prior experience in PGx, that are nailing it and creating a bright future for themselves.
Awesome. So where can somebody go to learn some more information or to sign up, or maybe even just to follow you to see if, maybe this is the first time they're hearing about it and they just want to know, like, hey, I need to know just a little bit more.
Absolutely. So click on the links below that Lisa has provided. Those will get you there the quickest. You can also follow me on LinkedIn, Dr. Jamie Wilkey, as well as drjamiewilkey.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I can't wait until we are able to get together in person. I know there's lots of events now coming back on in 2022. So congratulations on all the help that you've brought. I know many of your success stories of helping pharmacists really have the career of their dreams. And I think this is a perfect way for pharmacy owners to add a profitable and very clinically appropriate niche to their pharmacy. So thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. Keep up the good work.